Stop talking about comic books or I'll kill you. I don't care if the Hulk could defeat the Man of Steel. I'm gonna...
Hey there, comic fam. Bullseye Bob here, and welcome to Everything Comics. And this episode is going to be a continuation of the giveaway episode that I was trying to do the other day. Of course, I was working that day and couldn't take extra time off to do what I wanted to do, which was like a comic book chit chat with you guys. And so I have a little time here on Saturday, and so I figured I'd go ahead and throw together a video. Probably won't drop today because I'm going to be watching them UFC fights tonight, but it'll probably drop on Sunday sometime. But I really wanted to talk with you guys about some things that have been going on, and some comics that I picked up, and what happened at the Washington State SummerCon, and some things like that. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get right into the episode. Normally, this all spins off of my original show, Having Comics with My Coffee. Of course, that's not what it is anymore, but I still want to shout out the Refuge Coffee House, 9217 Southeast Foster Road, right here in Portland, Oregon. They're still my go-to coffee house, and they are a sponsor of the show. If you're ever in Portland, look me up. Let me know. We'll go have coffee at the Refuge. Coffee will be on me. We'll talk about comics, talk about whatever you want, but it'll be a good time. Today I'm not drinking coffee. I've drinking a lot of coffee this morning already, so I'm having some orange soda, which I absolutely love, and so that's what I'm drinking right now. But I was with Bueller earlier today. We filmed the brand new Coffee and Comic show, had some Mocha Express. It was an awesome morning. It was good to be back and hanging out with Bueller. But let's just go ahead and get into this. As you know, every episode on my channel is brought to you by the Rogue Trader. My good friend Eric, the owner and proprietor, he has an amazing pressing and cleaning service. There will be a link down in the description to his website. Go check him out. He's got comics for sale, and he's got this amazing pressing and cleaning service with which he's bar none, to me, the best in the business. He's got a background in historical documents and how to handle them. He's been pressing and cleaning for years, so he's got the experience behind him. And but if you go there and see something that you like, or you want to use his service, you can use the code EVERYTHING20 and get 20% off your purchase. You can't beat that. So go check out the Rogue Trader. They are the official sponsor of Everything Comics. Getting on, of course, on Monday morning, you don't want to miss the brand new Coffee and Comic show. Like I said, Bueller and I got together this morning, and we had a great time. We had a great show in store for you. This one's about comic book etiquette, or not, Comic-Con etiquette, and we had a lot of fun on this one. And then we do a mystery box review and all the mainstays of the show. Cool thing is I'm working from home on Monday morning, so I get to be there with you guys in the chat. So join up, hang out with us on Monday morning. It's a great way to start your Monday. And of course, if you can't do that, definitely check out the replay. Brand new Coffee and Comic show on the Comics with Bueller channel. So one of the things I want to tell you guys, of course, you can see I'm wearing my Everything Comic shirt. This was a prototype. This isn't the final product. The final product will have the logo up a little bit. But these were okay shirts, but I did finally find a company that I am satisfied with, and so I am going to open it up for orders for t-shirts, the Everything Comics t-shirt with this logo on it. So the price is going to be $20 plus $5 shipping and handling. You can't beat that. So here's the thing. You can order from size extra small all the way up to 4 extra large. I'm not going to charge you anything extra for the larger shirts. I will keep it on pre-orders until I hit a certain level, and then I will cut it off, and then I'll go ahead and put the order in, get everybody's shirts, and get them shipped out within a week after I put that order in. So just here's the thing, guys. If you go and send me an email at bullseyebobec at outlook.com, and then leave me an email with your name, your address, what it is that you want to buy, and I'll go ahead and send you a PayPal invoice that you can take care of. One of the things I want to let you know is that $2 from every purchase will go to the Hero Initiative. That's right. It's I always support the Hero Initiative as much as I can, and so some of your proceeds from every purchase will go to support the Hero Initiative, and they're a great organization. We got a great representative out here in the Pacific Northwest, and I always want to try to show them some love every chance that I get. And so part of the proceeds from your purchase will go towards the Hero Initiative. So the shirts are $20, $5 shipping and handling. If you buy multiple shirts, I'll work with you on the shipping. I probably won't charge that much more because they're basically going to be going in bags. But here's the cool thing. With every shirt that's bought, I also have these brand new stickers. That's right, Everything Comic stickers. I got merch, y'all, and it's pretty cool. And so these, I will throw a couple of these into every bag that gets shipped. I know some people have already asked whether or not they can just buy these straight out or if I can send them to them. I'm probably not going to do that. I got these pretty much for giveaways, for purchases and AOKs that I send and things like that, and plus handing out at Comic-Cons. So I'll throw a few of these in to your purchase if you purchase a shirt, but I'm probably not just going to sell these by themselves. It's not worth the shipping and handling and all that type of stuff to get them out to you guys. But there you go. Everything Comic shirts, $20, $5 shipping and handling. Send me an email at bullseyebobec@outlook.com. Let me know your name, your address, how many shirts you want, what sizes, and I'll get you a PayPal invoice. And like I said, within the next couple of weeks, once I hit that certain earmark, I'll go ahead and cut the orders off. And at that point, I'll put the order in, and about a week after that, I'll get the shirts and I'll get them shipped right out. But there you go. People have been asking about when I'm going to have the shirts available, and now they're available. Pretty cool. So speaking about the Hero Initiative, I definitely want to highlight this as well. In the description of this video, there will be a link. It's a link to PayPal to the Hero Initiative to be able to donate. Right now, they have this amazing book, just right here. As you can see, it's a collection of every Stan's soapbox from the original Marvel Comics. If you guys know me, I loved Stan's soapbox back in the day. This was his heart that he put on the pages, and I just love them. And there's commentary by a lot of different other creators throughout the book, and it's like every single one collected. And this is a gem. Cost for this is $14.99. All you got to do when you send your donation, you can send one for $14.99 if you want. You'll get this. Just let them know that you want the Stan's soapbox in the description in your PayPal donation. Like I said, $14.99 gets you a book, but I want to issue a challenge. Don't just pay $14.99. Pay $20. That's my challenge to you. I want to challenge you to put in the rest of the money to make it an even $20, and you get this amazing book, and you give to the Hero Initiative, who does so much to support all the creators that have given us so much entertainment over the years. The thing about comic books is they're work for hire, so there is no benefits. And so a lot of these guys, when they retire, they have no health care, they have no retirement, and a lot of them end up destitute and in bad situations. And the Hero Initiative does as much as they can to take care of those things, to provide health care and to provide meals and things like that, to support these comic creators, even ones that are currently in the industry. If something goes wrong and they're not making that much, they've got no health insurance to fall back on, and so the Hero Initiative helps them out. And so it's a great organization. Whoa, what just happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. As you know, I normally film with my phone, and Siri all of a sudden came on and completely stopped the video while I was filming. And when I went to go back and refilm, I found out after doing the whole rest of the show that my audio was gone. And you know why? Because I didn't do the very thing that my good buddy Bueller taught me, which is to make sure that you set up backup audio as you're filming. And I didn't do that. And so now I have the backup audio running, and now we can proceed with the actual video. And there may be some adjustments on the screen, look a little bit different than what we were just doing. Probably not much. I think I centered everything a little bit better. But as we were rudely interrupted, I was talking about the Stan's Soapbox collection and talking about donating to the Hero Initiative. And I think I got to let you guys know that I have a challenge going on, which is don't just pay the $14.95 or 99, I think it is, for the book, but donate a whole $20. And like I said, the Hero Initiative is probably the best fund out there, especially when it comes to those of us who are into comic books. You want to give back to the industry as much as possible, and the Hero Initiative is one that I fully stand behind. So if you want this amazing book, or if you just want to donate, like I said, there'll be a link down in the description. Our good friend Cullen, who is the representative out here in the Pacific Northwest, he'll get the donation. Just put a little note in there that says that you want the Stan Soapbox collection, or just say you want to donate. But do me a favor, reference that I sent you there, and that way I can he can let me know, exactly how many people came as a result of the video, which I think would be really cool. Anyway, we're doing amazing stuff. We're going to partner with the Hero Initiative as much as we can going forward, and this is just one of the great ways to be able to give back to the comics community. So thank you guys for bearing with me with the technical difficulties and the video going forward. So as you guys know, just about 3 weeks ago now, we were at the Washington State Summer Con. That's pretty much been the bulk of the videos that I've dropped here lately, is just the footage from the con and letting you guys know what a great time that we had out there. For me, it was the time of my life, truly. Probably the best con that I've ever been to, just because of the dynamics of it and all the things that we got to do. It truly was an amazing time. And normally when I go to a con, I usually go you really spendy with it. I usually have a budget that I'm trying to make sure that I stay within, but I usually save up for the con. And in this particular case, I didn't do a lot of buying. There were a pretty good amount of vendors, probably not as much as a normal con, but there was plenty of stuff there to buy, a lot of great comic book vendors, but I was kind of being, I guess, frugal. I don't know. It just didn't strike me to buy very much there, but I did get some things, and I wanted to share those things with you. So, like I said, not much, but I think it's kind of cool. So one of the first things that I bought is, you guys know how much I love the Old Man Logan series. The original Old Man Logan, after I saw the movie, people kept telling me it's so much different than the actual comic book. So I picked up the trade paperback and read it, and I just fell in love with it. I thought to myself, if this is what comics is doing now, then I'm missing out. And that's what got me to step back into a comic book store for the first time. And so when I was there at the con, I saw a full set of the Old Man Logan run. I did haggle a bit and get them down in price because there are some defects. But here is the first issue. As you can see there, let me just make sure there's no glare there. One other thing I've learned from my good buddy Bueller. There's a little bit of glare, but I'm pretty sure you guys can see that okay. Let's see if I'm just going to turn it this way right here. But there's the first issue. As you can see right here, if you look at it, there are no spine ticks on that. There's a little bit of folding right here on the edge of this cover. It's not color breaking. But hey, I know a really good person who has a cleaning and pressing business. That's right. My good buddy Eric, this'll be short work for him. And so I'm going to go ahead and send especially this first issue of Old Man Logan to him. And I know that it'll come back. It'll be near mint. It'll be perfect. But that did allow me to haggle a little bit on the price. I think the original price was $90, and I think I was able to get 20% knocked off of that, which was pretty cool. But that's the first issue, and then of course I got all the subsequent issues. There we go. And the artwork inside of this series by Steve McNiven is unbelievable. I've always loved Mark Millar's writing. Of course, I always say Mark Millar. I'm making myself say Miller. But I love his writing. But the team work on this particular run was phenomenal. It's still a series that really, really gets to me. And I just love the story. And like I said, it was the very thing that got me to step back into a comic book store. So I think it's pretty special. So I got the whole set, which I've never actually owned the floppies. I've owned a few of them, but not all of them. And so now I have, for my personal collection, the whole set. And these covers are amazing. I just wish I could get rid of the rest of that glare. That's pretty good there. And of course, the famous cover with the Red Skull wearing Captain America's cowl. Creepy cover. All the rest of these covers are in near mint, which I was very happy about. And of course, the last issue is the giant size. So I got the whole set, and I'm pretty happy about that. That's going into my PC. But I'm definitely going to be sending some of these off to Eric to get pressed, and he'll clean them up for me for sure. I know that for a fact. Another book that I got while I was there, I was really happy to pull the trigger on this because I haven't had this in my personal collection for a long time, and this is one of the best copies that I've seen in quite a while, and that is the Uncanny X-Men number 141. That's right. Some Days of Future Past goodness there. In this particular case, the X-Men run with John Byrne was definitely one of my favorite runs in the X-Men of all time. And I'll never forget when this came out, and it was on the stands. When it actually came out, I never forget the effect that it had on me, just seeing the graphic and then reading the story. It was so good. Still one of my favorite all-time X-Men stories, and so I am really glad to have this one in my personal collection. Like I said, it's a really nice copy too, so I think I really lucked out on this one. There we go. And some of you may be noticing what the Doctor Doom is here. This is a sketched cover that I won in an auction at the very beginning of the pandemic from somebody here locally. His name is Mitch. I'm not sure what his last name is, but it's a great sketch cover, and I just thought I'd leave that up there because the backing board, I just put some tape around it to make it stand up here. So, another one that I bought, and you guys would be thinking, don't you already have this in your collection? And I've already explained to a few people, yes, I had it in my collection, but I ended up selling it because I knew I was going to upgrade. And this is another book that has some flaws. But I know that with a pressing and a cleaning, that this will come out really nice looking. And so here we go. Without further ado, Daredevil number 168, first appearance of Elektra. Got it for a great price. Like I said, if you look at it, if you pull it out of the bag, there's all kinds of stuff on the cover, little bends all over the like rippling, and all things that I know my good buddy Eric will be able to press out, and so that allowed me to be able to haggle and get the price down, and so I got that one for a good price as well. But can't beat that. Daredevil number 168, and I love what they're doing inside of that run right now with Elektra. So very cool stuff. And then the only other thing that I purchased is, I don't buy toys very often. I know that in the Bob Cave, I got a number of things that are up on the shelf, not only things that I bought, but also things that people have made for me, like Bobby DeLaGhetto has made me some really cool figures that I have up there. And but when I was at the con, I saw something that I couldn't pass up. And so here it is. I got the Marvel Legends Collection Modoc. Look at that, you guys. That thing is amazing, and I couldn't pass it up. The price was $40 on it, and some of the just regular 9-inch figures are like $30. So to get this guy was just amazing. And so when you get them in the box, it comes with a different faceplate that you can put on there. There's also different hands, so you can do different things with it. But this one is going to be a mainstay in the Bob Cave for a long time because I've always been a huge fan of Modoc. And that's just Marvel goodness right there, right? And so there you go, in all his glory. That's my Modoc, y'all. I love it. Absolutely love it. So that was pretty much it. That's what I bought at the con. I'm not ashamed. They didn't buy anything else. It's just kind of a light con for me. And was very happy to get some of these to put into the personal collection. And so I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys and let you see some of the stuff that I bought there. The only other thing that I got from the con that just means a lot to me. Some of you guys know I got to spend some time with Jerry Conway, had a very special moment with him. There was nobody else in line. I got to go up and just talk with him. And there is a comic book. You guys know that in my comic book origin, Avengers 58 was very meaningful to me because of the death of my mother. And just trying to fit in, and that famous story of Even an Android Can Cry really touched me, and I got to let Roy Thomas know just how much that meant to me, and that's what started me in comic books. But there's another story, and also I read this just around close to the same time, probably about a year after I read that Avengers 58, but I started going to my very first comic shop, and it was in Santa Monica. It was called Heidi Ho Comics. I'm sure some of you out there know the place I'm talking about. But they had back issues of stuff that I had never read before, never seen before. And so I started buying those things. And one of the things that they had was Astonishing Tales, which used to have Kazar, a story with Kazar, and a story with Doctor Doom. And Astonishing Tales number 8 is the first time you ever get to see that Doctor Doom, once a year, every year, goes to the tallest tower in Latveria, and he ends up going to hell to fight for the soul of his mother. And after I read that story, I was so touched by it, I was so moved by it. Not only did I understand Doctor Doom for the first time and his true motivation, I also understood why he's so magnanimous. Because, I mean, if you faced hell, there's nothing that anybody's going to throw at you here on Earth that's going to move you or that's going to phase you. And so that magnanimous attitude that he has towards anything, it's like nothing compared to what he goes through to go after to save his mother. And so that right there is one of the things that helped me understand him. Plus, I knew at that particular point in time, I would have done that. I would have done that for my mother. And so this has always held a special place. It's Astonishing Tales number 8. Written by Jerry Conway. Of course, it was drawn by Gene Colan, which I absolutely love. Gene Colan is one of my favorite artists. And but here's the thing: I got to have this moment where I let Jerry Conway know just how much the story meant to me, and I started getting emotional. I couldn't help it, and he was touched that I was so emotional over it, and he got to tell me a little bit of the history behind the book. He said that when he wrote that particular story, he had just started working for Marvel, and he was in a shabby apartment. He had no food in the refrigerator. It was a really down and out time for him, and he said really it was one of the lowest points of his life. But he remembers writing that story and how much it resonated with him, and so it was really cool to hear kind of where he was at when the story was written, and how much it moved him way back then, and how much he remembered it. And so anyway, it was cool. I had this moment with him, and we shared that. I got a picture with him, and then I ended up going back to the booth, and didn't realize how much emotion was behind that, and I just started bawling. I couldn't stop. And of course Bueller comes up and he looks at me, he's like, "Dude, are you crying?" There's no crying at Comic-Con. It was funny. We had, him and I joke around all the time, but it really was something that was very healing for me. It made me realize how much emotion was still there, and it was just another piece of closure after all these years. So it was a very, very cool time, and one of the things that's very special to me about this amazing hobby that we're in, and just how much comics mean to us sometimes. And so instead of having this one encapsulated and graded. This one, I had him just personalize. I don't know if you can see it there, but I just had him personalize it to me, and that is going into my PC forever. It says "To Bob" from Jerry Conway, and I'll always remember the time that I got to have with this amazing creator there at the Comic-Con. Then, of course, later on, he came over to the booth and we got to interview him, which was really cool. But it was moments like that throughout the con that just made it a cut above anything that I'd ever been to before. And the last time that I had an experience like that was at the same con, just a couple of years before that, when, their very first time they did it. So Washington State Summer Con remains my favorite con, hands down. And I can't encourage you guys enough, when the next one comes back up, definitely go. And speaking about that, the next one is actually, we don't have to wait a whole year for it. As you know, Donnie Cates had to cancel last minute. Some family sickness started happening or whatever. We don't know the details of it, but he had to cancel. And so this August 7th and 8th, just 3 weeks away, they're putting on another SummerCon. It'll be a little bit smaller, but Donnie Cates is going to be in there with his whole crew, which I imagine is Ryan Stegman and some others. And they're going to put on another Washington State SummerCon. And so stay tuned this week. I'm sure they'll be giving announcements for it. This last one they put together in a month. I was surprised at how quickly they were able to put it together. And so we're in a situation where we have another con from, Steve, the great Washington State SummerCon, 3 in 1 year, y'all. And so, anyway, stay tuned for that. If you can get down get up there. I'm pretty sure Bueller and I will be there again. It'll be an amazing time. But stay tuned for the announcements on that. Pretty cool. So that's pretty much it from Washington State SummerCon. I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys some of the books that I've been reading lately. Haven't really been reading much. As you guys know, work has been absolutely crazy. So I've cut my pull list way down. I think I've only got 15 books on it now. And but here's some of the stuff I've been reading lately. So one of the books that I read in the last couple of weeks was Berserker 3. Really enjoyed this particular issue. We're starting to get into how he was created, and we're still not really 100% sure. It looks like, based upon his village getting raided, his mother prayed, and the gods heard and gave them her son. And her son is this beast that we know as the Berserker, who basically can't be killed and has a complete thirst for killing. And so it was a great issue. I loved watching the whole, reading about the whole backstory about how he evolved through battle. But we still haven't gotten any closer to what actually created him, or if he was born that way or if he was made that way. But we're still getting into that. I love the writing in it. It's a great concept. We've seen this type of story before, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. And I really do hope that they do option it for a movie. It's almost a shoo-in with Keanu Reeves attached to it, and I'd love to see it. So hope you guys are reading this one. It's pretty cool. And one that's almost kind of like it, and this one was from Vault Comics, just came out, is Barbaric. And a lot of Conan-type overtones in this as well, just like Berserker. But with some twists, and I love the twists in this. One of the biggest twists has to do with the axe that he wields. It's sentient, which is kind of comical because it speaks, and it's also got a complete thirst. It's got, for bloodlust, which gives him that extra edge in battle. And so I've really enjoyed this first issue. This is one that I kept on my pull list for sure. I can't wait to see where they go with it. But I'm a sucker for stories that have sentient weapons. I think the first one that got me into that trope was Michael Moorcock's Elric of Melniboné. I just absolutely love the whole Elric storyline with Stormbringer. The sentient blade that has to basically kill, it thirsts. And it gives the user the strength of the person that it kills, but the soul goes to the Lords of Chaos. And so just a devious sword. Used to love reading about that stuff, and I love that trope. And so here we are with another sentient weapon with bloodlust. And I can't wait to see where they go with this. I had a lot of fun reading this first issue. I think it was Robbie's pick of the week as well, and I would agree. It was pretty cool. So another one that I got to read over the last couple of weeks is Something is Killing the Children, number 17. Of course, I'm going to keep this on my pull list. I have to. This gets more into the background of the origin story of Erica Slaughter. Did we ever get her original last name before she actually takes on the name of Slaughter? I don't remember. But I'm really enjoying the whole backstory and the workings of the House of St. George. And this has been a fun, wild ride. I think whatever this current story is setting up will definitely fill out where we're going in the future. And I hope Tynion keeps writing this story because I love every minute of it. And so this is another one, like I said, I'm keeping this one on my pull list. A lot of great stuff by Tynion I'm keeping on my pull list. So anyway, this is another one I really can't wait till next month to see what happens next. And Something's Killing Your Children. You just can't beat it. Let me pull these off of here. Of course, I got to read Daredevil number 31. Another great issue. Chip Zdarsky's doing an amazing job on this. I still say that right now this is some of the best stuff that Marvel's putting out. Not just because I'm a huge Daredevil fan, but I just love the way he's built this story out. We got more of Elektra trying to train the girl. That seems like it's kind of backfiring on her. And then she basically goes after Lizzie Libres, which I'm kind of interested to see what happens there. She's pretty pissed. And then we got Matt inside a prison who basically squares up with the warden and basically, lets him know that he knows that it was him that set him up. And, it was his comeuppance. How about that? I'm just going to say that. And so we'll see what happens there. I'm really kind of hoping they kind of tie that piece of the story up because I think it's the weakest part of the story, him being in prison. But then we got Bullseye back, baby. And I can't wait to see what Chip does with Bullseye. Of course, Mike Murdock is still in play. And we're going to find out just how that plays out as well. And so I'm really enjoying this run. And I think we're going to get some great Bullseye stuff in the next issue. So stay tuned, folks. It's still rolling. It's still good. Love it. Absolutely. Another one I got to read. Of course, I'm going to read this book. And this is the third issue of Kanto in the City of Giants. We finally get to the end of this kind of bridge story before Kanto III. They end up getting the horn of the beast that they needed to go fight in order for them to be able to free their giant friends. And why they want to free those giants, seemingly crippled giants, because they're gathering strength. They're gathering troops to go and face off against the Shrouded Man. And so that's what I think Kanto 3 Lionhearted is going to be mostly about, is filling out more of that support, that army, that group that is going to go help Kanto face off against the Shrouded Man, and I'm on board with it. This issue was a little more comical than the previous issues. Not a lot of that heart felt stuff, not a lot of the epic story part in there. There's a lot of comedy in it. I did like the fact that they have the Mysturgian witch kind of in a place of redemption with Kanto. He's come to a place of trusting him or her. I'm still not sure. Doesn't really matter. But definitely the Mysturgian witch is now part of their support, and I thought that part was pretty cool. But I'm really excited to see where they go with Lionhearted, and of course Kanto 4 comes out after that, and that'll end the whole arc. And I'll be sad to see it go. I'm sure we'll have more stories going forward, but this current arc and the adventure that Kanto is on will finally come to an end in Kanto 4, and I'm excited about the whole thing. So hope you guys are reading Kanto. It's an amazing series. I just love it. And of course, I've kept this one on my pull list because I think I haven't enjoyed a good anthology in a long time. And so here we have from Image Comics, The Silver Coin. This is issue number 3. Really enjoyed this story. I think issue 2 wasn't a bad story by Kelly Thompson. It didn't focus on the coin as much. It felt like kind of an after part of the story. This story is by Ed Brisson, and the coin is featured a little bit more. It's about this group of can't really call them kids, but younger people, basically going to rip off a house, and they accidentally kill the owner of the house. And in doing so, after they steal everything that they can get from the house, one of the things, of course, that they steal is the coin. And the owner of the coin, whoever that is it's still very creepy, starts calling to saying, that is not yours, bring it back. And the girl who has the coin, she's compelled to take it to the owner. And I'll leave it at that. If you haven't read it, it's really cool the way it ends. But the coin definitely was more part of the story. Ed Brisson spun a really good tale. I think next month is Jeff Lemire's turn, and it's going to be set in the future, so I'm excited to see where that goes. But I really think that Robbie's prediction on this may be exactly where they're going with it. I believe this silver coin may be one of the 30 pieces of silver from Judas, from the original story in the Bible, which would make that even creepier. Anyway, I'm enjoying the anthology. Really love it. I really dig it. And so, yeah, that's that. You know, I'm going to keep it on my pull list. So another one that I'm keeping on my pull list, I got to read this week. Here's some comics that came out this week I was able to read. And from DC Black Label, we got The Last House on the Lake. And, you know, the first issue really surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to go where they went with it. And so I enjoyed it because of that surprise. So this particular issue doesn't really fill out the story going further. In other words, they don't carry the story along very much. What James Tynion does is kind of really works on character development, helps work on the characters and what they're thinking and what they're going through in the aftermath of what happened in the first issue. And I really enjoyed that. When you look at this book at face value and you look at the pages, you'll think, man, this is really wordy. And it is. There's even some pages that are just, it looks like a script. It's just line by line by line. And I think it's the second or third page. And when I got to that page, I actually went through it really quick because James Tynion is very good at writing dialogue. And so it just flowed. It really does flow. And so I wouldn't, don't let the wordiness of it put you off. It really, really does flow. It gets you to where you need to go. And like I said, it really starts to build out a lot of these characters and what they're going through. So I'd say the second issue I actually liked better than the first, and that's saying something because that first issue was really cool. So definitely another one, like I said, I'm keeping on my pull list. And James Tynion goodness, man. It's good stuff. So another one that I read this week that I wasn't expecting, of course you guys know, with Bad Idea, don't like their marketing. But my LCS has continued to put these in my box. And there was a one-shot that came out this week called Sleigh Bells. And, man, I got to tell you, if I was doing my normal comic reviews, this would have been my pick of the week. This was so much fun. This was so cool. It was so bombastic. It was so funny. It was so gory. It was a lot of fun. So basically the story revolves around, it's Christmas Eve and you have a family who's kind of poor. And so instead of like opening packages on Christmas Eve, the father and son are going to go out hunting for a deer for dinner. And so they get out there in the field and I mean, the whole day, they didn't catch anything. And so that it's, you know, getting close to nightfall and they look up on the ridge and they can see that there's a deer up there. And the kid knows that the father has always told him, don't fire at anything on the ridge because you don't know what's beyond it. You can hit somebody else. Father says, don't worry about it. There's not going to be anybody out here. Shoot at the deer. So he does, and he shoots the deer and hits it. And it ends up being one of the 9 of Santa's reindeer who is tied up to the rest of the reindeer. Once that one gets hit, they all go on a rampage and they start flailing all over the place. The sleigh is tripping them all up. They hit the woods. They get impaled on things. They break limbs. And pretty much in this one fell swoop, all 9 reindeer are dead. Santa sees this. And it devastates him because these are his babies, right? And so he looks at the naughty and nice list and finds out exactly who did it. And so he basically goes on a rampage to find this kid and his son for killing his babies. And it is so funny. There is so much violence and gore, but in a fun way. I had so much fun reading it. If you have a chance to get this book, please do. It was just a lot of fun. I dug it. I couldn't praise it enough. And so Another one from Bad. I mean, everything that I've read by Bad Idea has been good, and I hate them for it because they should make it possible for everybody to get these books, and they're not. And but because of the fact they keep putting out good books, I've continued to get them, and this is no different. So again, if you guys can get your hands on a copy of this, it is a lot of fun. Anyway, there you go. So that's it for the comics that I got to read this week. Another one that I read that is not an actual floppy book, but a trade paperback. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to 62 Lefty Blues, because inside a chat one day he asked me if I had ever read this, and I had never even heard of it. So I immediately went out the next day and I hunted for a copy and found one, and here it is by Source Point Press, Samurai Grandpa. Also, in the chat, Robbie had basically shown that he had a copy on the shelf behind him, and he really touted it as well. And so I got to read this on my lunch breaks this week, and I got to tell you, I absolutely loved this story. It hit all of the samurai things that I want hit, those itches, those scratches, those samurai scratches, so it hit those. It was whimsical. It was fantastic. It brought some fantasy elements inside of it. It was fun. It was fun to read. There's some comedy, but there's also some levity inside of it and some great wisdom interspersed through it as well. And the more I read it, the more I just was compelled. I wanted to read more. And I absolutely loved this. I wish they would have kept on going with this particular story, or the world that he kind of built inside of this, because this was amazing. And so if you guys have never read this, Samurai Grandpa, I loved the artwork. The storytelling and the writing was really, really well done. The pace is great. And I just can't tout it enough. This was an awesome read, you guys. And so I know I love finding stuff that while I was away from comics, these nuggets that I don't know about, and somebody will point something out and I'll try it out. And this is one of those that I was just blown away by. And so Source Point Press, sometimes they put, some really good stuff out. But this right here is a cut above anything I've ever seen them put out. I just love this. So if you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend it. It was amazing. So there you go. Samurai Grandpa, guys. It was really good. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the end of the show. I just wanted to kind of talk about, the stuff that I got at the Washington State SummerCon, and I wanted to talk to you about some of the books that I've been reading. Just wanted to put another video out and say thank you very much again for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Really appreciate you. The best thing about this whole comic community is being able to meet and get to know a great lot of you, and I am just been so touched to be able to do so. And so thank you guys. Appreciate you. Again, remember, if you want a shirt, it's $20 plus $5 shipping and handling. $2 of that will go to the Hero Initiative. Just send me an email, bullseyebobec@outlook.com. I'll send you a PayPal invoice. Once I hit that certain price break point, I'll cut off the orders. I'll send the order in, get the shirts, and then I'll ship them out right away. But it's a great way to give back to the Hero Initiative. Remember, Stan's Soapbox. Again, the link down in the description to be able to donate to the Hero Initiative. I highly recommend that you guys do that. Even if you don't want the book, give to the Hero Initiative. They do so much for the comic community, and especially to those creators that have given us so much over the years. It is a great organization, you guys. Other than that, that's all I got. Really appreciate you guys. Hope to see you guys on Monday morning on the brand new Coffee and Comic Show. But the way I always end this, always support your local comic shop, guys, and Excelsior. We'll see you later.
I don't care if the Hulk could defeat the Man of Steel.